Hi guys, we're going to continue working on our faces, our portraits, okay? So you see I worked my way up. I started over here. We were working on this in class and I went from, let's start over here, green to turquoise to blue-green to a purplish blue to purple. And then I faded from purple back to blue-green, and then I added the light green. So I'm back over here now. So see, I worked my way backwards through the color wheel. Okay, then from here I'm going to go to yellow. So I'm going to keep going around the color wheel and I'm going to work the warm colors all the way up the other side of the face. So I'm going to do that right now, and you can do it along with me or you can just watch me. I'm going to blend. I'm going to blend in and I'm going to layer the orange over the yellow so that I get a smooth transition called a gradient. Okay, in digital art and regular art, it's called a gradient. The smooth gradient takes so many years to learn how to do. If you're doing it already, you are ahead of the game. Sometimes it can take a really long time to learn how to do. And with different medium, it's a different technique. So creating a gradient with crayons is just a matter of how hard you press. Creating a gradient with colored pencils is a similar technique. You press harder or lighter. Creating a gradient with something like markers requires special markers. If you are using markers, you've got to blend them together, and some markers, it's very hard to get them to blend. So that could be a challenge. So that's why I don't suggest using markers for this project. Now, if you were learning how to create a gradient with watercolor, you would learn how to make the wash, a wash of one color, and while it's still wet, a wash of the other color coming from the other side, and then blending them together in the water on the paper. So that's super cool. What's interesting is I have a juxtaposition of these two colors here. So the red is still here, and I'm going to head up to pink over here. So it's yellow here and here, orange, red, and then it's going to be pink. That is super awesome. So my next color of choice after I do red, I'm going to follow this lead right here, is my dark pinkish reds. That's so cool. And I'm going to make it the same over here. Don't be afraid to turn your paper because you have to get the best angle for you as you're coloring. Now I made little shapes here, so I have to color around every one of these shapes. It can be tedious. If you used a marker, you don't have to worry about it smudging. You don't have to worry about it smudging, but if you used crayon, I used crayon for my drawing, and so I have to be careful that it doesn't smudge. Right now I'm using it's kind of the same color. Very similar. One's more purpley, one's more pinkish. So you see I am going in every single one of these little crevices. Don't be afraid to take your time. It's not a race. Okay, when we slow down and we just fill things in with color, it can be very relaxing. It can be a stress reliever too. And especially on a rainy day. I'm filming this on Friday, right after our class, and so you guys are all probably doing it too. Now, what I can do is I can go to purple. Okay, I think I might do that. I think I'm going to go to purple. Now, to figure out which color purple I'm going to use, okay, I have 3 purples here, so I have to figure out what color purple to use. I'm going to test them. I'm going to test them on my scrap paper so I can see which one is closer to red and which one is closer to blue. Okay, so whichever one, is the most pinkish, pinkish reddish, I'm going to use that one first. Okay. So this is the color I'm going to blend it with. Okay. So let's see if I have any other red, any other purples. Is this purple? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I have this color first. Okay, that's this one right here. And then I'm going to go to this color. And then the next most pinkish one, these are almost the same. You might not be able to tell on the camera. That one next. And then that one. And the one that's closest to blue is this one. So that's going to be my last one. And then if I wanted to, see how that goes? There's the blue. That's the closest to blue. This one's the closest to pink. Okay? So the way they're going to look in order is I'm going to show you. Pink. Then this is like a plum. And then the next lightest, I don't remember which one is which, is this one. And the next lightest is this one. And then the darkest purple I have is that one. And then it's blue. Okay, so do you see how if I mix them up like this area, see how they don't blend, they don't create a gradient. But when I have them all in a line like this, it creates a gradient. Those colors are in the order of the color wheel, and that is what is going to make your picture really, really stand out and look awesome. Look super amazing. If you hear shouting in the background, my son Jordan is watching YouTube. He's watching Ronald in Sis versus Bro, so you may know that. So I'm going to pick my next color, which is this purpley color. And you even see it's almost the same color as the one that's next to it. And that's how I know I picked the best color I could, because those colors are similar. I really want mine to stand out, so I'm going to go into every little loop here and put the darker color, because it's going to fade into the lighter pinkish color. And this is a more purpley color. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my next darkest color that I picked. Which one was it? Not that one. See, I go back and test. Yeah, it was that one. This is my next darkest purple. And I push hard with my crayons. That really makes it a nice dark line. Okay. And I think going up, I'm going to keep on getting darker and darker. Just double check again. Okay, that's the darker one. A little darker.
He's distracting me. He's stealing my stuff. He stole my remote. He changed my remote channel.
Jordan's complaining about his brother. You don't complain about babies.
Wait, who are you talking to? Nobody.
I'm making a video right there. And I'm going to finish it with blue right on the top of my wavy line. Cool. Okay, so the next thing, so you see how that goes, right? Like this is right there. That is just awesome. I love it. All right, I'm going to create the eyeballs now. So I'm going to choose green for the eyes because it's a self-portrait and I have greenish brown eyes. So I'm going to do green. And I'm going to make the eyes the same color. You can do yours different colors if you want. You don't have to make them the color of your own eyes. You can create any kind of expression you want. Any color eyes that you want is a-okay. Okay, so we're going to work on some of these details, okay? In the details, what we want to do is use contrasting colors, okay? So if we use... Okay, so for the details, I'm going to use contrasting colors. So for this eyelid, I have green all around it. So I'm going to just pick a different color that's not green. I'm going to pick the purples. And I'm going to do the pinkish purple. And I'm going to do dark purple. I'm going to do a pattern, but you could do anything you want. You don't have to stick to a pattern. It's up to you. I just like the way that that pinkish purple, that plum color looks. That is my favorite color. Plum and teal are my favorite colors. These are my two favorites. But I'm really liking lime green a lot these days. What's your favorite color? Cool. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to create something up here. What colors could I use that would be contrasty? Maybe blue and orange. So if I do blue right here, does that look contrasty? Yeah. See how that stands out next to the yellow? Now I'm going to do every other one. So I'm going to do the top one's blue. Oh, that's going to make it stand out. Blue and orange are complementary colors. When you use complementary colors, you get things to pop. When you use analogous colors, they're next to each other on the color wheel, you get things to blend. These are analogous colors. These are analogous colors. These are going to be complementary colors. So I'm going to pick my brightest orange that I can find. I'm going to test a few and see which one I like the best. Okay, that's bright. That's the one I used already. Oh, that's really dark. It's like a reddish orange, and that's the same color, red orange. I'm going to use the bright one. Oh, yes. Do you see how that pops out? It makes your eye go to it because it's so different. When two colors are really different, we call them contrasting colors. Contrasting colors are an awesome way to call attention to a place in your artwork. So contrasting colors can really bring the viewer's eye right into one certain place in your artwork, and it makes your artwork interesting. Everybody likes different things. Everyone has different taste, okay? But when you use the different elements of art, it helps your art be more interesting and be, you know, just fun to look at. Okay, this is a nice turquoise color. I think I like that next to the orange here. So I'm going to go and put turquoise in. So it's blue. It's still in the blue family. So it's still high contrast to the orange. Okay, so now to get some even more detail. Okay, this is great. So what you see here, this is awesome. But, I mean, not to toot my own horn, like, yes, I think it looks good. But if you did this much, this is great for you. If you want to go a step further, you can create a gradient in each one of these color boxes. So I'm going to use, this is that red orange. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, red orange. And this is a lighter color orange, okay? And I'm going to create a gradient inside the box. And I'm going to just color the side right over top. Not the whole thing, just the one side. And I'm going to do that over here too. Just the one side of the box. And what it creates is it creates depth. And it creates the illusion of depth. Depth is 3D. It's what we want our art to look like all the time. I always want my art to look 3D. When your artwork is 3D, it has dimension. Now it's on a flat piece of paper. This isn't 3D at all. But when I use color and I use extra details like that, it's going to help me to create dimension. I have a really dark turquoise, so I'm going to do that same thing in each one of these turquoise boxes. I'm going to create a darker shade on the side of the turquoise box. This one is all flat, one color. I'm going to create a darker shade on one side of the turquoise box. And I'm going to create a darker shade on one side of the turquoise box. So you see, that looks really cool. I like the way that looks a lot. So I think I'm going to make that happen over here. I'm going to go back to my black crayon. So what we have to do now is we have to look at our whole painting. Okay, I'm going to leave the whites of the eyes, but I really don't want to leave any white areas except for the whites of the eyes and the highlights. So I'm going to add some stripes over here. I broke my crayon. So now look, I just put a line there. I'm going to pretend I didn't do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into something. Instead of trying to erase it, I'm just going to make my lines that. I was going to put straight lines all the way across, but look, it's an oops. It's a beautiful oops. It turned into something good. Okay. I'm going to make some starburst lines around there. Maybe I'm going to make a circle in a circle, a concentric circle. You can hear sis versus bro in the background. I'm going to make a zigzag. Oh, that kind of looks weird. I don't like that. Looks like teeth. I'm going to get rid of that. I did not like that at all. Okay. I'll do that. That's kind of okay. And then on the neck, I'm going to do, she put fish on the neck of the one. I'm not going to do fish. I'm going to do diamonds, little fish shapes, but not total fish. Okay. And I'll do a zigzag in between. Some of this reminds me of what when we studied the kente cloth and the mud cloth. There's a lot of zigzags and a lot of really cool things, cool designs. Cool, so you see where I'm going with this, okay? I'm going to create the turquoise. Remember, I like the turquoise. And I want to create some of that turquoise in this eyelid right here. So I'm going to add turquoise. I'm just going to do an every other one pattern. You can do any pattern you want, you know. This is your art. So this is the part that I really love, where I really get to be creative. And this is a darker turquoise. That kind of made her look mad, but that's okay. I'm going to do this one definitely orange. And I think I'm going to do this eyelid yellow. Do some yellow. And then I can do a gradient. I can fade yellow to orange in the eyelid. Maybe I can do that. Actually, I really like the way that looks. And I'm going to add a little bit of orange the top of it to fade down, so it's yellow and orange combined together. Okay, that looks cool. I like that. I'm going to use, what's the complement of blue? Orange. I'm going to use orange in this circle. It's like a reddish orange. Now I'm going to use brighter orange. So that's more what I was thinking I was getting. And another orange here. I'm just changing it up. Cool. And the complement of green is red. So I'm going to use red, like a reddish, I'm going to use this reddish pink in the middle. And I'm going to do a gradient in the shape of a circle. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to. So I just stopped there. I went lighter. And I'm going to use pink. And I'm going to blend it in. And it's a gradient now. That's pretty cool. That came out good. Okay. So you're going to continue through the whole process to fill in this circle, the lips, the neck, and the background. Okay. And then we have one last step, and I'll be back to show you one last step. All right. Bye, guys.